Dr. Gunjan Dubey is working as a professor in Department of Education, AMU, Aligarh. She joined the Aligarh Muslim University as a lecturer in November 1996. In the Department of Education, she has good academic background. She qualified UGC Junior Research Fellow Test at AMU level. She is also associated with the Indira Gandhi National Open University. Her area of research interests are distance education, teacher education, environmental education, etc. Most of the researchers and dissertations guided by her are in these areas in teaching. Her areas of interest are in education, psychology, environmental education, research methodology, and teaching.
Okay, thank you, sir, for giving me this chance to share my views with you and participants. It is really a very good platform. We can discuss. Yes, sir.
Your voice is not.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Yes, ma'am. Proceed.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to share my views with you and so many teachers, lecturers, and from various parts of the country. I really appreciate your effort to do such kind of exercises for the benefit of teaching community. The topic given to me is communication skills for effective teaching. I think the participant has already gone through various ways for making your teaching effective. So communication skills is one of the major contributor to the teaching effects of teaching effectiveness of teachers. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So starting with the communication. So before going to communication skills, first we must understand the meaning of communication. So the word communication originates from the Latin verb communicare. Okay, so communicare means sharing or dividing among, sharing something or dividing our information, facts, whatever we are sharing among the group. So communication is an act in which a person which shares his knowledge, feelings, ideas, information, etc. in such a way that each gains a common understanding of the meaning and the intent and use of the message. So while if we consider communication in terms of teaching, so teaching is communication in terms of teaching is to communicate or share our knowledge, the knowledge of teacher. Teacher shares knowledge, teacher shares feelings, ideas, and information to the learners. And these ideas, knowledge, and feelings are shared in such a way that teacher and learner at the end of communication has common understanding of the meaning, intent, and the use of the message which is being shared. Okay, so there is one educationist, Ligon. He defines communication as a process by which two or more people exchanges ideas, facts, feelings, or impression in ways that each gains a common understanding of the message. For communication, at least there must be 2 persons, maybe more person, minimum 2 or more person. So it is a process in between 2 or more person where the two or more person share their ideas, facts, and feelings, and this sharing in such a way that each, the person who is sharing and the person who is gaining the facts, they have common understanding of the message. Means whatever is being shared, that is same for sender as well as receiver. So in essence, it is the act of getting a sender and receiver tuned together for a particular message or series of messages. For example, here I am sharing PPT of communication and effective teaching. So this is the common content. By the end of our communication, what I want to say to my viewer regarding communication and effective teaching must be shared in the same way what I understand or what I want to communicate regarding communication and effective teaching to you all. Means at the end of this lecture, you are receiver, I am sender. We should be in tune that whatever I want to share, you understand those facts in the same manner in which I want to communicate. Only then communication is good. Whatever teacher wants to communicate in the same manner, that a learner should understand it. ऐसा नहीं कि टीचर कुछ बता रहा है बच्चे कुछ समझ रहे हैं, then it will be not good communication, because there should be commonness of idea. At the end of the communication, at the end of the class, the idea should be common to the both teacher as well as learner. So if we go to communication, it can be broadly categorized into two broad categories: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. So a teacher in classroom communicates in major two ways. He may communicate in verbal form or he may communicate in non-verbal form. Or we can say sharing of ideas, facts, information, feelings, emotions can be done in two ways: by verbally communicating, and we can also share ideas and information without using a single word. Then it will be non-verbal communication. So verbal communication can be of two types. In classroom, we can communicate new information to the learner in two ways: in oral form or written form. Oral form means when spoken words are used to communicate ideas, and written form means whatever notes you have given, books, all these have written information given by the sender, and the learner reads it, and the sender communicates or the teacher communicates to the students through written material. So, but both involve words, spoken words or written word. Then it is verbal communication. Then non-verbal communication means where words are not used, neither spoken word nor written word. Rather, we communicate our ideas using our gestures, our facial expression, our body language with eye contact or gestures. So here are the details of verbal communication. So verbal communication, as I said, is of two types. It is oral communication, it is written communication. For effective teaching, a teacher must be good in oral communication or verbal communication, which is commonly known as. So oral communication is where we convey our messages through spoken words. And it is mostly face-to-face in classroom. But sometimes it may not be, it may be virtually, like at present. I am presenting my views through oral communication, through virtual mode, or using digital devices. Though I am not communicating you with face-to-face mode, but still I am communicating to you orally using words, spoken words through digital devices. So face-to-face हो सकता है, ये digital devices के through हो सकता है, like social media, like laptop, computers, intercom, telephone, all that. So, but here it should be in spoken words. So we mostly communicate our ideas in the classroom through oral communication. So for effective teaching, a teacher must be well versed in oral communication. Then second category of communication is written communication. So it involves any type of interaction between teacher and learner that makes use of the written word. Teacher has sent notes to you through whenever you study someone ideas through books, through notes, then it is communication in a written way using the words. But another type of communication is non-verbal communication, where words are not involved, but still it is very much effective. Like we can say a lot without using a single word, simply by movement of lips. If you can read the lip movement of your teacher, you'll understand what he is saying. winking of eyes. A teacher asks question and student responds, and teacher winks his eye. It means everything is right. Your response is right. Without saying a single word, he has communicated whether you are right or wrong by moving your head, nodding, moving your head. You express whether you are right or wrong. So through our gesture, through our body language, we can communicate along. Without using a single word, we can communicate a lot through our gesture, through our lip movement, through our winking of eyes, through the wave of hand, through a nodding of our head. So teacher teaches through whole body. Classroom में हम पढ़ाते हैं मुंह से, हाथ से, पैर से, body से, आंख से, हर चीज से. That's why face-to-face communication is so much effective. That a teacher, the students who is listening at the other end, he understands each and everything, even from the gesture of the teacher also. So many meaning of the words we can communicate through gesture. आइए, पधारिए, आपको अगर कहना है, तो you will have to use your gesture. Okay, so it is a supplementary method of communication, but it is very useful and it is very effective. It makes your the understanding of learners in a very effective manner. So I think I am audible. अगर कोई भी problem होगी तो convey कर दीजिएगा. So this is the diagrammatic representation of communication. So as I said, and communication is a two-way process between two or more people. So at least there must be two people, or there may be 100 and 1,000 of people. So it is between the people who communicate, who shares the idea, who is known as sender, and the person who receives, mostly in our case learners, they are receiver. So in the process of communication, a teacher is sender. He selects messages which he has to communicate to their your learner according to syllabus content, and a teacher encodes those messages, those intended messages which he want to convey to the learner. So teacher is the sender. He selects the messages, he encodes the messages, and then he uses appropriate channel of communication. Verbal, written, audio-visual. These are various channels of communication. So he selects the channel and he spreads this encoded message through the medium or channel to the receiver. The receiver receives it and he or she decodes it. And then teacher asks questions, and after decoding, the learner gives response, which provides feedback to the sender that what was intended, that was communicated effectively. So if teacher knows how to select message, how to encode message, how to utilize effective channels of communication, only then his or her teaching will be effective. And for this, learner should also be able to decode the encoded message as sent by sender. So here is the details of these terms. So sender, as I said, in classroom teaching, it is teacher. So it is the means, it takes an important place in teaching learning process. Teacher has a very important place because he transmits the message or sends the message. And this message may be of different kind. It may be picture, it may be symbol, it may be thought, it may be gestures, it may be order, it may be report, anything. So sender sends these kinds of information during the process of classroom communication. Then messages, whatever sender sends in the form of pictures, symbols, write-up, speech, they all are come to under the heading messages. So these messages which he wants to share with the learner, he encodes it properly. So in what language, in what way, what should be timing, what should be gap, what should be nature of message, he, according to this, he encodes his message and send it utilizing a proper channel or mode of communication. So channel is the mode of message flow or the way of message flow. Because our, like here in this section, our message of flow is Zoom meeting. I'm communicating, the channel is laptop, there's a digital media, and through Zoom meeting, I'm transmitting my ideas to you. So this is a link between I and you. Your participant hai, they are receiver, I'm sender, and the channel is a link between me and you. This is a digital platform as selected by Bharat Academy. This is Zoom meeting. Then receiver is receiver may be listener, a reader, or viewer. Because as I said, the communication may be verbal, non-verbal, or in the form of gesture. So when you are listening, the receiver is listener. When you are when sender is communicating with written words, then he is a reader. And when there is audio visual, you are viewing me also, because audio video is on, you are viewing also. So receiver is a person or group who transfers the message, who receives the message. He may be a listener, he may be a reader, or he may be a viewer. So if there is any negligence on the part of receiver, then also communication is ineffective. The sender may be very effective communicator, but if from the part of learner he is not attentive, then communication will be ineffective, because intended message will be not conveyed to the receiver in the same way in which it should, because of certain reasons lying in the receiver. Then receiver decodes the messages. The sender, in the form of encoded messages through channel of communication, sends to the receiver, and receiver in his brain, in his mind, decodes the messages and gets the intended meaning. After that, the teacher asks the questions related to the topic conveyed, message conveyed, and if the responses are correct, it means the communication is effective. So feedback is very necessary to ensure that messages has been effectively encoded, effectively sent, effectively decoded, and effectively comprehended. So questioning and answering, these plays important role in feedback to ensure that messages are effectively encoded by the sender, effectively sent by the sender, and it is also effectively decoded by the learner. So as a teacher, we must understand the importance of these all channels, only these all components of communication, so that we will be skilled in effective teaching. But sometimes our communication is not as such as a teacher wants to be, because of presence of certain barrier in the medium. So one of the important barrier is noise. Noise affects our communication. A teacher may teach in a very effective manner, but suppose from outside of the classroom some noise is being produced, then the receiver will not be able to receive the message, or it may distract the receiver. So it causing not to hear the message properly. So noise is one important barrier. So we should first control this barrier. Besides this, there are some other barriers also which a teacher must know, so that he can remove these barriers for effective communication and effective teaching. So one of the barrier is semantic barrier. Semantic term is related with the language. If the language of student and language of teacher does not matches, teacher is teaching in English medium and students are mixed learner, and students have some other knowledge of regional language, or the language in which message is being conveyed is not understood by the learner, then it will cause a barrier. So we should remove this barrier. Then psychological barrier. Psychological barriers are the barriers related to the mental status of the receiver as well as sender. If the receiver or sender is not psychologically well conditioned, then intended communication will not be done. Then organizational barriers. So relationship between teacher, taught, subordinates. If it is not proper, then also it will affect the necessary communication. Then cultural barriers. There are certain terms, certain things which are considered good in one culture may not be, may be considered as slang in another culture. So this may misinterpret the meaning of communication. Then physical barriers are all sorts of barriers which are involved in infrastructure. Like if the size of the hall is very big, if the distance between learner and teacher is very long, if sound is echoing, and their number of students are more, and teacher is communicating without any electronic device. So these will be physical barrier, and the students will be not getting the intended message, and communication will be not effective. So we should remove semantic barrier, we should remove psychological barrier, we should remove organizational barrier, we should take care of cultural barrier, we should take care of physical barriers, and these some physiological barriers are also there. Suppose students have some problem, physical problem, like nerves में कुछ problem है, तो वो उसको जो intended messages है, उसको brain को interpret करने में problem होगी. So it may be associated with learner and sometimes sender also, that is teacher also. So if you are not physically fit, you have certain physiological boundaries, problems, then the communication will be not that much effective. So as a teacher, for effective teaching, we must know what are the barriers which affect our teaching, and we should try to remove those barriers as far as possible. Then for effective classroom teaching, these I have divided the content to 3 parts. A teacher must have knowledge of communication skills, a teacher must have knowledge of teaching skills, and teacher must have knowledge of motivation techniques. If you have knowledge of all these categories, then definitely your teaching will be effective. Once your teaching will be effective, the learning of the learner will be effective. The under first heading, we'll be studying knowledge of communication skills. So why knowledge of communication skills is important for teacher? If teacher is skilled in communication, because this profession demands your skill, you have to be skilled in communicating with the learners. So knowledge of communication skills. So these communication skills are the abilities which are used by the teacher for giving different kinds of information. Like we communicate new ideas in the classroom, we communicate feelings, we update their knowledge. So these all require listening, speaking, observing, and empathizing. So teacher must be well versed in speaking skill, in listening skills, in observing the learner, having an eye over a learner in the classroom, and empathizing. So basically these 4 are communication skills in which teacher must be well versed. Only then his teaching will be effective. Because this profession, the teaching profession demands this, that the teacher must be a good communicator. For good communicator, he must be a good speaker. आप जो बोल रहे हैं वो सामने वाले तक समझ में आएगा, तब सामने वाले तक पहुंचेगा, तभी तो आपकी टीचिंग अच्छी होगी. तो you must work over your speaking skills. Then you must also be a good listener also. It doesn't mean like you are only speaking and speaking in 40-minute class and you are not listening to the learner. So listening skills are very important because they provide feedback to you as a teacher as well as to learner. Then observing skill, while teaching, a teacher observes the learner also, which learner is attending the class topic or not, which learner is having some problem, physical problem, mental problem, discipline problem, all that. ऐसा नहीं कि हमारा काम सिर्फ पढ़ाना है, whatever what students are doing, I'm not aware of. We should have an eye over our audience also. And empathizing means दूसरे की जगह खुद को रख के सोचना. If somebody is not responding in a proper way, a teacher must be empathetic. So these are the basic communication skills in which a teacher must be versed. Then a teacher must also know or should be skilled in knowing the difference between face-to-face interaction, phone conversation, and digital communication. Face-to-face interaction has their own importance and barriers. Phone conversation, when you're communicating over the phone, because the gestures are not visible to the person other side, then you must know how to conversate over a phone, how to communicate over phone. And when you're using digital media, laptop, these various types of Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, and you are communicating through social media and email. So you must know the difference between pros and cons of face-to-face interaction and interaction with other media. So why such emphasis has been placed over teaching skills or communication skills? Because good communication skills keep student in control. Because teacher is a leader of the class. And leader should be very good in communicative skill. आप अपने daily life में भी देखते हैं जो political leaders होते हैं which are well in communication, which have good communication skills, they are successful. Similarly, and they can control the party. Similarly, teacher is also leader of the class. So if you want to control or make your student disciplined, then a teacher must have good communication skill. So only then he'll be able to exhibit good leadership behavior, and his behavior must be positive. Only then student will stay focused. नहीं तो कभी-कभी आप देखते हो कुछ टीचर्स पढ़ा रहे हैं, बच्चे उनको अटेंड नहीं कर रहे हैं, because वो communication skills उनके में नहीं है, so that they are not focusing over teacher, they are focusing over somewhere else. And positive behavior develops positive relationship with the teacher and taught and school. So if you have good communication skill, you will be able to control your student. Control not in negative sense, means get focus of the student. Then for improving student learning, definitely your communication skills will be helping. If you are a good speaker, good communicator, then it will improve your teaching. And if your teaching will be improved, their understanding or learning will be improved. Then decrease teacher turnover. So teacher who has good communication skills, he stays long in this job, because this job requires you to be a good communicator. As a teacher, as a primary teacher, as a secondary teacher, as up to senior secondary level also, you have to interact with parents of the students also. A good teacher has good communication skills, which helps to interact with parents of the students, which is one of the important part of teaching. So if you are good communicator, good communicating skills, then it will improve your parent-teacher interaction. Then it will also help with dealing with special needs children, because they require more attention, more emotional attachment. So if you are a good communicator, you will be able to deal with special needs children. Then you will be able to spot problems in the classroom only when you are a good communicator. कुछ टीचर्स होते हैं, एक क्लास के बच्चे बहुत शोर मचा रहे हैं, पढ़ाई में ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं, वही बच्चे दूसरे टीचर की क्लास में बड़े ही अटेंटिव हो जाते हैं. Why? Because the other teacher is well communicator. He attends to the problem of the student, he spots the problem and removes this. Until unless आपके पास speaking skills अच्छी होंगी, communication आपके और स्टूडेंट में communication अच्छा हो, only then you will be able to spot problem. Spot करेंगे तभी उसको आप जो है remove करेंगे. Only then your teaching will be effective. I think time is very short. So a good communicator creates a safe learning environment in the classroom, and he has supporting relationship with the learner. Then, as I told you, body language, communication through body language affects a teaching learning a lot. कुछ टीचर्स की बॉडी लैंग्वेज इतनी प्लीजिंग होती है कि स्टूडेंट्स गेट अटैच्ड एंड दे फोकस over the classroom teaching learning, because your body gives signals to the learner, positive signals, good signals. So your body language should be positive, confident, so that student get good signals and they focus over क्लासरूम टीचिंग. समटाइम्स आप देखते हैं कुछ बच्चे जो है, आपने कुछ कहा भी, कुछ टीचर कुछ बोलते ही नहीं है क्लासरूम में, वर्बली तो वो नहीं डांट रहे हैं बच्चों को, बट स्टिल उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज ऐसी होती है, रिएक्शंस ऐसा होता है, जेस्चर्स ऐसे होते हैं कि स्टूडेंट उनको रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करते हैं क्लासरूम में. सो बॉडी लैंग्वेज इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. वी शुड वर्क ओवर आवर बॉडी लैंग्वेज. देन टेक्निकल स्किल्स इन nowadays. For good communication, you must also know technical skills. शायद एक पूरा लेक्चर ही आपका इस पे हुआ होगा. तो these days two-way communication है, through audio visual aid है, through digital media है. Student wants to take more interest in some new or novel method of learning. So if you are good, you are good speaker, as well as you are well versed in handling new gadgets also, smart board, smart classroom, digital media, then your teaching will be more effective. Then be clear and concise. A teacher must be, whatever you intend to or want to communicate, you must be clear. Classroom में जाते ही आप बताइए कि today we are going to discuss this and this under these broad headings, and in a concise language. 10 सेंटेंस आपने बोल दिया, बच्चे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, और कुछ टीचर 1-2 सेंटेंस में पूरी बात समझा देते हैं. तो यू मस्ट बी क्लियर एंड यू मस्ट बी कंसाइज. यू मस्ट बी स्किल इन कम्युनिकेटिंग योर थॉट्स in a clear language, so that whatever you are telling, that must be understood by the teacher and students. So your language should be unambiguous. It should be clear. It should be concise. कुछ टीचर्स होते हैं, क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं, क्या कहना चाहते हैं, 50 मिनट की क्लास के बाद ही बच्चों को समझ में नहीं आता है, बिकॉज अनएम्बिगुअस होते हैं, वो कंसाइज नहीं होते हैं. देयर लैंग्वेज इज नॉट क्लियर. So this was the first part. Shall I stop at 5 or 5:30 तक आप दे सकते हैं? 15 मिनट और टाइम दे सकते हैं आप मुझे, रफीक साहब. ललित, दीप्ति, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You are audible.
So can I engage you for 15 more minutes?
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay. So this was the first part, knowledge of communication skills for effective teaching. Then knowledge, along with the knowledge of communication skills, if you have knowledge of teaching skills also, then it will add to your teaching. So there was a person, a great teacher, B.K. Pasi Sahab. He suggested certain teaching skills, and if we practice teaching skills, definitely our teaching will be improved. So in our B.Ed classes, we make our student to practice, because teaching is a science as well as art. Some are born teacher and some become good teacher by practicing also. So practice affects a lot. So if you practice over these teaching skills, definitely your teaching will be effective. So writing instructional objective is the very, if you are well versed in writing instructional objective, it means before entering into the class, you must write over a paper that within 30 or 40 minutes of period, I am going to cover these objectives. My objective is to make clear this, to define this, to differentiate this, to draw diagram, to explain this, and 5 to 6 major objectives which you are going to make your students achieve during that 30-40 minute period. So that must be clear to you. उसको पहले से अगर आपने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है अपने इंस्ट्रक्शनल ऑब्जेक्टिव को, क्लास में जाने से पहले कहीं लिख लिया है, एंड देन यू प्लान योर टीचिंग। ये फॉर फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव हमें ये टीचिंग एड दिखाने हैं, ये एग्जाम्पल देना है, ये कंटेंट सेलेक्ट करना है। फॉर सेकंड, फॉर अचीवमेंट ऑफ सेकंड ऑब्जेक्टिव आई हैव टू यूज दिस, then definitely your teaching will be unplanned। क्लास में कभी भी नहीं जाना चाहिए। Then introducing a lesson, we should not start abruptly in the classroom। ना abrupt शुरुआत होनी चाहिए, ना abrupt ending होनी चाहिए। We should introduce our lesson by relating past knowledge of the learner to new knowledge। जो भी नया टॉपिक आप पढ़ाने जा रहे हैं उसको पहले से बच्चे क्या जानते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स आपके उसकी कितना नो हाउ है उनका, so that you can further add। So if they are studying by relating new knowledge with the past knowledge, by comparing and contrasting, जैसे आप बताते हैं कि इससे पहले आपने ये पढ़ा था, अब इस थ्योरी में ये थ्योरी इससे डिफरेंट है। पाउलो की थ्योरी में आपने ये पढ़ा था, नाउ स्किनर थ्योरी जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं, दिस इज आल्सो थ्योरी ऑफ लर्निंग, बट दिस इज द डिफरेंस। तो बाय कंपेयरिंग एंड बाय कंट्रास्टिंग आप पढ़ा रहे हैं, by introducing, by relating new knowledge with previous knowledge, then definitely your teaching is going to be effective। Then fluency in questioning, because questioning gives you feedback। जो भी आप पढ़ा रहे बिना क्वेश्चन किया है तो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा। 30 मिनट आप बोलते चले जा रहे हैं, बच्चों से आपने पूछा ही नहीं, तो how you assure that you are going on the right track and students are getting what you intend to tell them। So a teacher must be fluent in questioning, so he must be very skilled in questioning। मीनिंगफुल क्वेश्चन पूछने क्लास में, अनएम्बिगुअस, क्लियर, मीनिंगफुल। आपने देखो कई बार एग्जामिनेशंस में ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं कि स्टूडेंट क्वेश्चन पेपर लेके बैठता है, उसे समझ में नहीं आता है क्या पूछा जा रहा है। या क्लास में आप बच्चे से पूछते हैं कि आंसर दिस, बच्चा कहता है सर क्वेश्चन रिपीट करिए, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग यू, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गुड इन क्वेश्चनिंग। आपकी क्वेश्चन मीनिंगफुल नहीं है, अनएम्बिगुअस है, क्लियर नहीं है। सो गुड teacher is fluent in questioning, so you should practice over questioning skill also। How to frame questions, question should be interrogative, it should not be like yes no or fill in the blank type, it should be like that student give complete answer, chorus mein answer na aaye। So you should practice skill of questioning। Then probing questioning is also very important। Probing means cueing, giving cues, helping a student to arrive at correct response। Sometimes students know the answer, but he hesitates or is a bit confused। So as a teacher, if you probe or give him certain cues, so they will be able to give correct answer, and they will be motivated also to give answer next time। Then explaining certain terms, certain topics need explanation। कुछ तो terms होते हैं जिनको रटना है, कुछ ऐसे कंसेप्ट होते हैं जिसको एक्सप्लेन करना है आपको। तो अ टीचर मस्ट बी वेल वर्स्ड इन एक्सप्लेनिंग द डिफिकल्ट कंसेप्ट। देन इलस्ट्रेटिंग विथ एग्जांपल, दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन। यू बहुत सारी चीजें बच्चों को सिर्फ एक्सप्लेन करने से नहीं समझ में आती है, until and unless you give an example, you illustrate with example, and that example should be of their level। उनके नियर बाई माहौल से कोई आप एग्जाम्पल दे रहे हैं जिसको वो जानते हैं, तब वो उसको रिलेट कर पाएंगे। और ऐसा आपने एग्जाम्पल दिया लंदन यूरोप जहां वो कभी गए नहीं है, वहां के कोई फ्लावर के बारे में आप बता रहे हैं, तो वो कैसे समझेगा। So you should be well versed in illustrating with the example, and the example selected by you should be according to the level of the learner। Then stimulus variation means to break monotony, because to grab attention of student is very difficult। Young student, adolescent, up to graduation level, 50 मिनट आप क्लास में पढ़ा रहे हैं, मोनोटोनस लेक्चर दे रहे हैं, पढ़ा रहे हैं, it will be very difficult to attend the class, attend the lecture। So to sustain their interest, you should involve stimulus variation। Like कभी आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा, कभी एक्सप्लेन किया, कभी ब्लैक बोर्ड पे पॉइंट्स लिख दिए, पढ़ा रहे हैं, ब्लैक बोर्ड से पॉइंट लिख रहे हैं, फिर एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, फिर बच्चों से पूछ रहे हैं, तो यू ब्रिंग सम चेंज। और फिर टीचिंग एड की जरूरत है तो यू ब्रिंग टीचिंग एड ऑल्सो, मॉडल भी ले जा रहे हैं अगर जरूरत है तो। बट यू शुड ब्रिंग वैरायटी इन योर टीचिंग, यू शुड ब्रिंग सम, ब्रेक द मोनोटोनी ऑफ टीचिंग। then your teaching will be effective. ये ह्यूमन नेचर है कि एक जैसी चीज से वो उब जाता है। लगातार लेक्चरिंग, आप 10 सेंटेंस तो उसने सुना, 11-12 सेंटेंस वो मिस कर जाएगा। तो लगातार ना बोल के थोड़ा देर में आप स्टिमुलस वेरिएशन दें। स्पेशली बड़े बच्चों के लिए डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, पीजी के स्टूडेंट है तो दे नो द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ लेक्चर, ये नहीं कंटेंट कहीं नहीं मिलेगा, बट फॉर स्मॉल स्टूडेंट्स, फॉर secondary level, senior secondary level, and for graduate, you must bring some stimulus variation. The silence and non-verbal cues, like pause. जितना important बोलने का है क्लासरूम में, उतना ही important चुप रहने का भी है. A teacher is speaking continuously 20 minutes, he is lecturing, and suddenly he stops. All the students becomes attentive. जो ध्यान नहीं भी दे रहे वो भी attentive हो जाते हैं कि क्या हो गया. So whenever you are going to start a new topic, a very urgent topic, a teacher takes a pause. Now listen. This is very important. So this affects students very much. They underline that. They write those statements with a colored pen. So silence as pause is very important. Then you should practice non-verbal cues of body movement, gesture, facial expression. Blend sa facial expression aap leke padha rahe hain. You should have some smile over your face. Your facial expression should be very positive. किसी students आपने सवाल पूछा, उसने response दिया, you should, आप words नहीं बोल रहे, but आपका face बता रहा है, your facial expression is telling that yes, you are correct. Then reinforcement. Everybody wants to be motivated, get appreciated for his correct response. तो चाहे छोटे क्लास का बच्चा हो या बड़े क्लास का बच्चा हो, ग्रेजुएशन का हो, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन का है, आपने कुछ कंसेप्ट पूछा, he responded in a very well manner, his response was correct, then you should give certain kind of reinforcement, means appreciation. It may be verbal reinforcement, like very good, correct, you are 100% right, bravo, very nice response. Or by using non-verbal gesture, you can motivate. आप बच्चे के पास तक गए, इसके शोल्डर पे पैट किया, स्माइल किया आपने, नॉड किया सिर को, वेरी नाइस, बहुत बढ़िया. So he will get motivated. So थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस करके you can improve your, you have good communication skills, और ये teaching skills की भी प्रैक्टिस कर लेंगे, आपकी teaching बहुत effective हो जाएगी. Then increasing your pupil participation, means no student should feel unwanted in the class. टीचर तो मेरी तरफ ध्यान ही नहीं देता, वो तो सामने वाले ही बच्चों को देख के पढ़ाता है, वो 4 बच्चे हैं उन्हीं को देख के पढ़ाता है, या लेफ्ट साइड में देख के पढ़ाता है या राइट साइड में, और टीचर ओनली सीज टुवर्ड्स गर्ल्स और बॉयज. इस तरह की बहुत सारी चीजें क्लास में होती है. तो अदर नो स्टूडेंट शुड फील अनवांटेड, सो एनी हाउ यू शुड इन्वॉल्व योर स्टूडेंट इन क्लासरूम डिस्कशन में, क्वेश्चनिंग में, डिफरेंट एज फार एज पॉसिबल. बड़ी क्लासेस में तो बहुत ज्यादा ये नहीं हो सकता है, लेकिन जितना जहां तक पॉसिबल है, यू शुड involve a student in your teaching learning. Then a teacher must be very much skilled in blackboard. क्योंकि आप क्लास में पढ़ा रहे हैं, डिजिटल मीडिया से पढ़ा रहे हैं, लाइट चली गई, नेट चला गया, तो only thing you have in your hand is chalk and blackboard, which are the best friend of teacher. इसीलिए ऑपरेशन ब्लैकबोर्ड चलाया गया था कि is the minimum teaching aid which there should be in the classroom. बिना टीचिंग, बिना ब्लैक बोर्ड के छोटे बच्चों को, या साइंसेस हैं जिसमें डायग्राम्स हैं, मैप्स है, वो पढ़ाना इम्पॉसिबल है. एंड इफ अ टीचर इज वेल वर्स्ड इन यूजिंग ब्लैक बोर्ड, ही टीचेस एंड राइट साइलेंट पॉइंट्स ओवर द ब्लैक बोर्ड. छोटे छोटे स्केचेस बना के आप बता रहे हैं, तो आपकी टीचिंग बहुत इफेक्टिव हो जाएगी. क्योंकि वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन में कभी कभी वो डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स आ जाते हैं, जो हमने डिफरेंट टाइप के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, फिजियोलॉजिकल, फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के जो डिस्ट्रक्टर्स पढ़े थे, बट यू प्रोनाउंस अ वर्ड एंड यू राइट दैट वर्ड ओवर द ब्लैक बोर्ड, तो इट विल बी मोर क्लियर व्हेन यू राइट ओवर द ब्लैक बोर्ड. लाइक केमिस्ट्री के इक्वेशंस हैं, फिजिक्स के डायग्राम है, कोई नया ऑथर है, किसी की डेफिनेशन बता रहे हैं, और द वर्ड मे नॉट बी heard in the same way in which you want to communicate, so, because the word is very much new, of different language or different pronunciation, Indian pronunciation का नहीं है, तो उसको आप ब्लैक बोर्ड पे लिख देंगे, तो it will be more easy for student to understand. So a teacher must use how to write over blackboard. तो बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, like your writing, बहुत छोटी भी ना हो, बहुत बड़ी भी ना हो, बिल्कुल आप लेफ्ट में ना लिखें, बिल्कुल आप राइट में ना लिखें. You should use the middle portion of the blackboard. Your writing should be legible to the backbenchers. इस साइज का लिखें, क्लास में जो पीछे बैठा बच्चा उसको भी दिखाई दे रहा है. बहुत नीचे लिखेंगे तो आपकी राइटिंग टेढ़ी हो जाएगी, बहुत ऊपर लिखेंगे तो आपकी राइटिंग टेढ़ी हो जाएगी. तो इसको भी आप प्रैक्टिस करें. तो ब्लैक बोर्ड ऐसा टीचिंग एड है, उसका इस्तेमाल करना आप सीख गए तो आपकी टीचिंग इफेक्टिव होगी. देन अचीविंग क्लोजर. So as introduction of the topic is important, it should not be abrupt. In the same way, achieving closure should not be abrupt. So you should achieve closure in a very decent manner. Today we studied this. Now we'll discuss this topic in the next class. तो जिससे बच्चों को समझ में आ जाए कि आपके वॉल्यूम से, आपके इंटोनेशन से, आपके लैंग्वेज से उनको कम्युनिकेट हो जाता है कि नाउ द टॉपिक इज बीइंग एंडेड और हम कल दूसरा पढ़ेंगे. सो अचीविंग क्लोजर शुड बी आल्सो वेरी गुड. अचानक पढ़ाते पढ़ाते एब्रप्ट एंडिंग नहीं करनी चाहिए. एक और चीज है 10 मिनट में मैं बताना चाहूंगी कि देयर आर सर्टेन टेक्निक्स ऑफ मोटिवेशन which will make your teaching effective, because a teacher must be a motivator. मोटिवेशन ऐसी चीज है कि बिल्कुल कमजोर बच्चा भी कोई बहुत आगे ले जा सकता है, और अगर आप मोटिवेट नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो नेचुरल डिमोटिवेशन से बहुत तेज बच्चा जो है, जो 9-10 तक बहुत अच्छा नंबर लाता है, वो कभी कभी बहुत पीछे चला जाता है, क्योंकि उसको क्लासरूम के टीचर्स ऐसे नहीं मिलते हैं जो उसको मोटिवेट कर सके. और कभी कभी 10th 11th तक जो बच्चा खराब नंबर ला रहा है, डल है, उसको एक अच्छा टीचर मिल जाता है जो उसकी पोटेंशियलिटी को आइडेंटिफाई करता है, और यूजिंग साइकोलॉजिकल टेक्निक्स ऑफ मोटिवेशन वो बिल्कुल आगे बढ़ जाता है. आप कभी एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं कर सकते कि जो सेकंड डिविजन बच्चा जो है क्लास में 70-80% आने लगता है, इफ द टीचर इज वेल वर्स्ड इन यूजिंग द टेक्निक्स ऑफ मोटिवेशन. सो द टीचर शुड मोटिवेट लर्नर्स इंट्रिंसिकली एज वेल एज एक्सट्रिंसिकली. इंट्रिंसिक मीन्स inner need of learning. आप उनको अच्छे अच्छे लोगों की बातें बताइए, एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम के बारे में बताइए, इनके बारे में, उनके जो भी अच्छे फिगर्स हैं सोसाइटी में, तो वो इंट्रिंसिकली he will be motivated. एक्सट्रिंसिक, एक्सटर्नल रिवॉर्ड, ये पढ़ने से ये जॉब मिलेगी, ऐसा पैकेज मिलेगा, ये मिलेगा, वो मिलेगा, सक्सेस मिलेगी. तो इंटरनल एज वेल एक्सटर्नल, both kind of motivation affects a lot. So we can motivate our learner and we can make our teaching effective by using the principle of pleasure and pain. Pleasure versus pain. So we should avoid painful experiences in the classroom and we should provide pleasing experiences in the student. ऐसा ना हो कि टीचर का इतना खौफ हो कि बच्चा आना छोड़ दे. कुछ टीचर्स के क्लास में सारे बच्चे पहुंचते हैं, अटेंडेंस 100% होती है, कुछ में बच्चे नहीं आते हैं, because they feel pleasing environment in their class. So we should keep into mind. टेंस एटमॉस्फेयर ना हो क्लास का, प्लीजिंग हो. देन रिवॉर्ड्स एंड पनिशमेंट, जो हमने रीइंफोर्समेंट की बात अभी बताई, तो अब हम वो वर्बल ही रिवॉर्ड देंगे. कोई काइंड्स में तो रिवॉर्ड बड़े बच्चों को देंगे नहीं, छोटे बच्चों को तो ट्रॉफी वगैरह दिया जा सकता है, बट फॉर एल्डर स्टूडेंट्स, ग्रेजुएट एंड पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, वी शुड गिव सिंबॉलिक रिवॉर्ड, साइकोलॉजिकल रिवॉर्ड्स, एंड वी शुड अवॉइड पनिशमेंट. देन एस्पिरेशन लेवल, अ टीचर मस्ट डेवलप such a kind of a level of aspiration which is achievable to the learner. Like जितना उनकी potential है उसके according उनके अंदर aspiration level develop करें. कुछ लोगों का, कुछ बच्चों का self concept बड़ा high होता है लेकिन potentiality उतनी नहीं होती है. कुछ बच्चों का potentiality ज्यादा होती है but वो अपने को underestimate करते हैं. So aspiration level is the level of performance for which someone aspires in future. Whatever he wants to be in future, and for that he aspires. So as a teacher, you must identify the aspiration level of learner according to their potentialities, and you should motivate your learner. No, you have very good potential of maths. You can go to this field. You try in this. Then use praise and avoid blame. अगर कभी किसी बच्चे ने गलती कर दी है तो we should not blame him publicly. प्रेस तो हमें पब्लिकली करना चाहिए, बट ब्लेम कभी भी पब्लिकली नहीं करना चाहिए, बिकॉज students are very much egoistic or of this age, graduate level. So it affects their self-concept. So teachers should praise publicly and they should avoid blaming publicly. Then we should make our teaching effective and learning effective for the learners by using this technique of competition and cooperation. Competition does not mean rivalry, but it should be healthy competition, interpersonal competition among students, within the group, within the peers, within the group. First 10 जो rankers है, 11 to 20 वाले जो rankers है, first 5, next 5. So within group, within the peers, and competition with oneself. कोई बच्चा पढ़ने में अच्छा है, आप जान रहे हो उसकी पोटेंशियल बहुत अच्छी है, इस बार वो 8.5 CGPA लाया है, तो you promote कि आपका कंपटीशन दूसरे से नहीं है, आपका कंपटीशन खुद से है. आप 90% लाए, आप 95 भी ला सकते हैं, आप मैथ्स में 100 भी ला सकते हैं, if you work over this. So competition, if you generate the feeling of competition in these 3 ways. And cooperation also plays very important role. If 2 people, sometimes a project done by 2 students is more effective than single person. So class में rivalry ना हो, competition हो, but there should be cooperation also. कोई आपने project दिया है, the students should work together. The importance of working together, they must know. The knowledge of the result, जो हमने communication skills में कहा कि feedback is very important. Feedback कहाँ से मिलता है? When you teach, you ask question and the responses given by the learners to you, either written response in examination sheet or verbal response in the classroom, provides feedback to teacher as well as learner. आपने आज बच्चों का टेस्ट लिया और कॉपी चेक करके मार्क्स नहीं दिया, how they will know? अभी आपने क्लास में बच्चों से कहा आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन, बच्चे ने रिस्पॉन्स दिया, आपने कुछ कहा नहीं, आप आगे बढ़ गए, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम आप कहेंगे रेज योर हैंड एंड टेल मी व्हाट इज दिस, nobody will answer. Because the knowledge of result, yes, you are right, you are partially right, will motivate them to answer in future also. And this will provide to feedback to you whether you are your teaching is in right direction or not, and whether their learning is in right direction or not. The both get benefited by the knowledge of response. Then novelty, we should bring some novelty in classroom. कभी कभी कोई एक नया तरीका से हम पढ़ाएं, कभी स्टोरी से शुरुआत करें, कभी किसी इंसिडेंट से शुरुआत करें, कभी किसी खबर से, मैगजीन की, न्यूज़पेपर की खबर से शुरुआत कर सकते हैं. तो we should bring novelty in classroom. Then setting of goal. So as a teacher, we should set achievable goals of a learner, because teacher knows the abilities and potentialities of their learner. Teacher must understand the individual differences existing in the learners in the classroom. Each learner, कोई मैथ्स में अच्छा है तो कोई ड्राइंग में अच्छा होगा, कोई फिजिक्स में अच्छा है तो कोई पेंटिंग में अच्छा होगा, तो हर एक के अंदर कोई ना कोई पोटेंशियलिटी होती है. तो टीचर मस्ट आइडेंटिफाई देयर स्पेसिफिक पोटेंशियलिटीज and also identify their weaknesses so that they work over their weaknesses and work also over their strength. And the teacher helps a learner to set goal which is attainable. तो attainable goal है, तब अब आपने अपने बच्चे के लिए अपने एज ए पेरेंट और एज ए टीचर, अब बच्चा जो है 60% वाला 90% का गोल अगर सेट कर दिया तो ये निगेटिवली अफेक्ट करेगा. तो यू शुड एज ए लर्नर, एज ए टीचर, एज ए पेरेंट, you should set attainable goal to the learner. Then avoid the use of stressful procedure. Some kind of stress is necessary. Exam के समय जो stress है, थोड़ा stress creates mild anxiety, which accelerates your studying of the students. But ज़्यादा stress जब बच्चों को हो जाता है तो it affect negatively. तो हमें कितना stress बच्चा handle कर सकता है as a parent, as a teacher, उतना ही stress देना. Without stress तो बच्चा लापरवाह हो जाएगा और पढ़ाई नहीं करेगा, और बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेस में भी it will affect negatively. As a teacher, we should avoid very stressful procedure, but we can go for mild stressful procedure which create mild anxiety so that he becomes active to learn. And then as a teacher, we should ourselves provide as a real model. टीचर का ज्यादातर बच्चों का टीचर, अच्छे टीचर जो है बच्चों के लिए मॉडल होते हैं. They copy their behavior. So as a teacher, we must present ourselves as a real life model, and we also should tell them about some other models and some symbolic models also. कभी-कभी एक statement ही आपके life की दिशा बदल देता है, तो अच्छे quotes, अच्छे quotations class में बच्चों को दीजिए. Then if you are able to generate the importance of particular subject, what is the need to learn, then definitely they will learn. तो पहली क्लास में आप जाते हैं तो फर्स्ट डे आपको जो पेपर पढ़ाने को मिला है, एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी मिला है, मैथमेटिक्स मिला है, जो भी, तो फर्स्ट डे यू वर्क ओवर दैट, यू मेक योर स्टूडेंट अंडरस्टैंड द नीड ऑफ दिस सब्जेक्ट, कि ये सब्जेक्ट इतना इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है, इसको पढ़ना इतना जरूरी है, हाउ दिस विल बी हेल्पिंग यू in getting your career in future, in practical life, in field. So you generate need to learn. तो जब inner need होगी, intrinsic motivation होगा, तो definitely they will be motivated to learn. जब उनकी learn, जब वो they will work hard, then they'll get good result. So your teaching will be effective if you involve your student and you create intrinsic need to learn. As a teacher, we must know these motivational techniques. So today we learned what is communication, what are the elements of communications, and we divided our topic in 3 parts: how knowledge of communication skills affects your teaching or makes your teaching effective, how the knowledge of teaching skills makes your teaching effective, and how the knowledge of motivational techniques makes your teaching effective. So that's all for today's lecture. ज़्यादा टाइम ले दिया मैंने आपका, आधा घंटा ज़्यादा. So if you want to discuss.
Thank you very much, madam. Very nice session. हमको बहुत इससे knowledge भी मिला और very good, madam. Thank you very much.
Madam, no.
Thank you, Sunil. Yes. रफीक साहब थोड़ा ज्यादा टाइम ले लिया, सॉरी.
No, madam, is not more time. Actually the time is the 5:30 na. There is a 1 hour's lecture na, 4:30 to 5:30.
अच्छा 1 hour था, ठीक. अच्छा तो मैंने थोड़ा जल्दी किया, मुझे लगा इफ्तार का टाइम तो नहीं हो रहा है.
नहीं, it's okay.
Okay, so there must be some time for discussion also.
Yes, anyone want to ask something? Yes, dear participant. Yes, kindly fill up your feedback form. I have WhatsApp and email also. Okay. I think that there is no any query, ma'am. No? Okay, thank you very much.
So you are
all of
messaging but
participants.
not communicating verbally. You are preferring non-verbal verbal communication, written communication you are preferring. A teacher must be well in communicating verbally as well as in written form. Both mode of communication.
Yes.
आपसे interact करके भी हमें अच्छा लगेगा if you want to discuss something.
Thank you very much everyone for participating in this session. Respected ma'am and participants, on the behalf of the Bharat Digital Academy, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to your presence and valuable contribution on this training program. Your presence has added immense value to this training program and has inspired all of us with your insightful words of wisdom. Your guidance and mentorship are greatly appreciated and have provided us with a fresh and perspective on various issues. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all participants, volunteers, and members of the organizing committee for their tireless effort in making this program grand success. It has been a privilege to have you all here with us, and we hope that you have found these events to be enriching or fulfilling as we have. Once again, thank you. You're gracing us with your presence and your sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Your contributions have been invaluable, and we look forward to your continued support and guidance in the future. Thank you all of coming and have a wonderful day. Now you can ask any questions and give your any suggestions regarding this training workshop. Actually, today was the last day of this workshop. Yes, anyone can open their camera and discuss about the anything. Yes, anyone can. You open your camera? All of participants. Yes, please
Asha,
open
you
your
want to say
camera.
something?
Please open your camera. We will discuss about the teacher training workshop which is conducted by Bharat Digital Academy, and your views and your feedback regarding this training program, 1 week long training program. Yes, open your camera, all of participants. All participants, please open your camera. This is the last day. After that, पता नहीं कब मिले नहीं मिले, लेकिन this is the last day. And our resource person, Professor Gunjan Dubey is here. You can ask or you can express your feelings. कुछ भी आपके mind में, कुछ भी दिमाग में है. Language is not bounded. Actually, कुछ लोग सोचते हैं कि हम
You can
अंग्रेजी में
express
बोल
your
नहीं
views in any language. Communication is important either in Hindi, English, mixed language. Actually, we
can,
also want feedback.
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am and sir. Myself,
Yes.
Bhatia from Jaipur. So it is immense pleasure to attend this session. It was lovely. All the 5 days were different topics were taken, and especially today we can maintain a student-teacher relationship properly with, and we can also involve um, good communication skills. Then only we can maintain it in a better way. Then in the yesterday session we have learned about ICT. That was also a very good experience. We are happy to attend this session and other sessions, and we are looking forward to more such sessions, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for everything, for every session.
Thank you, Babu.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful feedback regarding this. And anyone else? You can speak any language. There is no boundary. You can speak Malayalam. You can speak Telugu. You can speak Kannada and every language. We cannot understand the meaning, but we can understand your essence. Like what are the actually what is your feelings? Yes. Yes, Ruchi. Are you saying want to say something? Ruchi, Sunita Gurwal, E.T. Sharma, Asha Saini. Actually, ma'am, these participants are very regular from the day of the first. I think all of Asha, Sunita, E.T., Parul, and Ruchi, Atia, Amrita Kumari, they are our regular participants from the day first.
Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
Myself
yes.
रुचिता खुराना. मैंने
मैम,
सारे
मैम,
सेशन मैंने सभी सेशन
कैमरे को थोड़ा
ऑलमोस्ट मेरी जो हमारी टीम है उन्होंने सबने अटेंड किए हैं, और हम एजुकेशन उससे फैकल्टी के हैं, तो हमारे लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल सेशन रहे हैं सर ये सारे. और कम्युनिकेशन अगर कहा जाए तो एक टीचर और स्टूडेंट रिलेशन की सबसे पहली सीढ़ी है कि एक तो सबसे पहले टीचर.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम, एक्चुअली आपका
Yes,
कैमरा
sir.
ना एक पे जा रहा था.
Geeta, set your camera.
Yeah, sir. It's okay?
Yes.
Yeah. सर क्योंकि हम सभी एजुकेशन फील्ड से हैं, तो हमारे पास जो भी आती हैं प्रोस्पेक्टिव टीचर्स आती हैं, तो कम्युनिकेशन स्किल है, चाहे आईसीटी है या जो भी चीजें हमने इन सेशन में सीखी हैं सर, वो बहुत ही बेनिफिशियल रही हैं हमारे लिए, और हम उनको भी ये सारी चीजें हम अच्छे से ट्रांसफर कर सकेंगे सर। तो ये हमारे लिए जो सेशन है, और हम चाहेंगे कि आप ऐसे और सेशन जो भी है हमारे लिए कंडक्ट कराए, तो हम सभी है ना एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे सर। क्योंकि जब तक टीचर खुद ही एक्टिवली किसी चीज को पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करेगा, तो कैसे अपने स्टूडेंट्स को मोटिवेट कर सकता है। तो हमें पहले अपने आप को उस चीज के लिए तैयार करना होगा, तभी हम दूसरों को अपनी ये चीज कन्वे कर सकते हैं। तो थैंक यू सो मच मैम, थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर एवरीथिंग। जितने भी सेशन हुए हैं सबके लिए बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव है, नॉलेजेबल है। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
Thank you, Ruchi.
Ma'am, actually, can you tell us actually your background and where are you from?
हाँ
You are from?
हाँ सर, मैं मीरा गर्ल्स कॉलेज जयपुर में लेक्चरर हूँ, और मैं बनस्थली से अपनी रिसर्च कर रही हूँ सर। मैं रिसर्च स्कॉलर हूँ, और जो भी सारे सेशन हुए हैं मेरे लिए रिसर्च में भी बहुत बेनिफिशियल रहेंगे। और जो हमारा 2 साल का टीचिंग का जो है हमारा बीएड का करिकुलम है, तो डिफरेंट फील्ड से स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं सर, बहुत रिमोट एरिया से भी स्टूडेंट आते हैं। उन्हें कैसे हम अपनी कंडक्ट जो कंटेंट होता है उसको प्रेजेंट करने के लिए हम लोग कैसे पावर पॉइंट से उनको अपना कंटेंट प्रेजेंट करा सकते हैं, ये सब अपने क्रिटिसिज्म और फाइनल लेसन में हम ये चीज करवा रहे हैं सर। और जब पैंडेमिक था तब भी हमने गूगल क्लासरूम, इवन हमने एग्जाम भी उस पे कंडक्ट कराए हैं। तो शायद हमारा जयपुर में पहला ऐसा कॉलेज था, बीएड कॉलेज, जिसने ये इनिशिएटिव लिया था सर। तो जितनी भी, और बस सर मुझे एक चीज है कि हमने जो सेशन किया था उसमें जैसे टेक्निक्स बताई थी, तो हमें बस ये था कि टेक्निक्स हम सबको पता है कि सारी चीज क्या होती है, वो मतलब कि गाइडेंस क्या है, काउंसलिंग क्या है, बट किस तरीके से हम ऐसी कौन सी टेक्निक्स हैं जिनको हम अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं और वो हम ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि शायद जो भी सेशन अटेंड कर रहा है वो सब अच्छी तरीके से जानता है कम्युनिकेशन क्या है, मोटिवेशन क्या है, गाइडेंस क्या है, काउंसलिंग क्या है, आईसीटी क्या है। जैसे कल का जो सेशन था वो बहुत ही थ्योरेटिकल बेस पे था, सब पीपीटी को, कैनवा को यूज में लेते हैं सर, पर हम और कौन सी चीजें उसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं जो पर्सपेक्टिव टीचर्स को हम बेहतर तरीके से सिखा सकते हैं। बस मुझे थोड़ा सा इसमें ये लगा कि हम उन टेक्निक्स पर बात नहीं कर पाए कि ऐसी कौन सी टेक्निक्स हमें अडॉप्ट करनी चाहिए जिससे हमारा जो टीचिंग लर्निंग जो प्रोसेस है बहुत इफेक्टिव हो सके सर। तो शायद मेरा फीडबैक
Yes,
यही
ma'am.
होगा कि सर हमें टेक्निक्स पर ज्यादा वर्क करना है, क्योंकि एवरीवन नो, क्योंकि हम ऐसे युग में हैं कि आज पूरा वर्ल्ड हमारे हाथ में है सर मोबाइल के थ्रू, बट हम उन कौन सी ऐसी टेक्निक्स को अपना सकें जिससे हम अच्छे से अपना जो कंटेंट है अब जो डिलीवर कर सके, कैसे बच्चा अपने आप को प्रेजेंट कर सके, ऐसी कौन सी चीजें हो सकती हैं, मुझे ऐसा लगा। बाकी अदरवाइज जो भी सेशन हुए हैं बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव है, नॉलेजेबल है, और एक तरीके से हमने हर चीज को रिकॉल किया है सर, क्योंकि ये चीजें हम बीएड के करिकुलम में भी पढ़ चुके हैं, हम एमएड के करिकुलम में भी पढ़ चुके हैं, और जितना भी हम नेट का जो करते हैं उसमें भी हम ये सारी चीजें पढ़ चुके हैं सर। बस मेरे को इस पॉइंट पे लगा कि हमें ऐसी मतलब टेक्निक्स भी की नॉलेज दी जानी चाहिए जिससे टीचर जो भी हैं वुड बी टीचर्स भी अप्लाई कर सके, और जो हम कर रहे हैं एज ए लेक्चरर जो हम बीएड जो स्टूडेंट्स को प्रोवाइड करते हैं तो हम भी अपने उसमें कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट ला सके सर। क्योंकि सब जानते हैं पीपीटी स्लाइड कैसे प्रेजेंट करनी है, कैनवा पे कैसे बनाना है, सब जानते होंगे सर। तो इसलिए मुझे लगा कि ऐसी कोई और टेक्निक्स हो, कुछ और हो, क्योंकि थ्योरी सर सबको पता है, प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच पे मैं बिलीव करती हूँ ज्यादा कि हम प्रैक्टिकली उसको कैसे प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं। बाकी सर वेरी थैंक सो मच, थैंक यू। मैं बहुत क्योंकि मेरी भी बहुत नॉलेज बढ़ी है सर, क्योंकि लर्निंग इज ए कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस, नेवर एंडिंग प्रोसेस है सर। टिल लास्ट ब्रीथ भी हम कुछ ना कुछ सीखते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं। तो हर के उससे जितने भी एक्सपर्टीज थे वो बहुत हमारे लिए वैल्यूएबल हैं, और इसीलिए थैंक यू सो मच।
ठीक है मैडम, थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम। वी विल हमारे पास एक्चुअली क्या है ना, लास्ट जो हमारा टीचर ट्रेनिंग का प्रोग्राम हुआ था,
यस सर।
संडे एक्चुअली आईसीटी पे बहुत ज्यादा डीपली हम लोगों को बताया था। तो आई शेयर यू माय वीडियो ना, या
Okay,
फिर
sir.
you can go the Bharat Digital Academy to video section. There is all videos are available है ना regarding ICT.
ओके श्योर सर।
I will provide.
सर ठीक है, हम आगे भी आपसे कनेक्ट रहना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि ये हमारे लिए ही है कि हमें बहुत सारे ऐसी सेमिनार्स हम अटेंड करें, ऐसे प्रोग्राम्स और लर्निंग प्रोग्राम्स हम अटेंड करें, क्योंकि आगे हम जो सीखेंगे उसका 10 गुना हम अपनी और टीचर्स को देंगे। वो टीचर्स क्या है, आगे हमारे जो फ्यूचर बिल्डर है, जो स्टूडेंट्स को वो लोग प्रोवाइड करेंगे। तो डेफिनेटली हमारा जो नेशन है वो ICT क्या हर फील्ड में आगे जाएगा सर।
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And anyone more? Sunita ji, अच्छा रुचि मैम जी, सुनीता मैम, है ना, मोना देवी, श्रद्धा, आशा सैनी. Want to say something? Otherwise, we will end it. Yes, Asha. Asha Sani, want to say something? Not regarding the critical. Yes, yes, yes. Ma'am, say anything if you want.
Thank you so much, sir, for valuable session. और रुचिता मैम ने अभी इतना कुछ बोला, वो हमारे साथ ही हैं। हम सभी एक ही कॉलेज में, मैं, मोना मैम, सुनीता मैम, पारुल मैम, रुचिता मैम, हम सभी एक ही कॉलेज में। तो हम सभी सेशन बहुत वैल्यूएबल रहा है।
And thanks a lot of all, मतलब madams to coming this sessions and for give us a.
देखिए टीचर्स कितनी एक्टिव हैं, तो वो चाहती हैं कि बस आप ऐसे ही अच्छे अच्छे सेशन हमारे लिए कंडक्ट कराते रहें, तो हम सब पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे। सर हम 6 या 7 हैं, एक ही कॉलेज के हैं, तो आप देखिए हमने किसी को ही नहीं कहा कि हम किसी को नोट्स प्रोवाइड कर देंगे। हमने सबने इंडिविजुअल अपना फॉर्म फिल किया और सबने पार्टिसिपेट किया है। थैंक यू सो मच सर, और हम वेट कर रहे हैं कि आप कुछ नया और लेके आएंगे हम लोगों के लिए।
Yes, yes, sure ma'am, sure ma'am, sure ma'am.
That is also very active. आप टॉपिक सजेस्ट करिए कि हमें इस टॉपिक पे कंटेंट या वीडियोस या इंटरेक्शन करना है, तो दैट विल बी इनकॉर्पोरेटेड बाय द रफीक साहब।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू मैम, हम ये सजेस्ट करेंगे। ठीक है, जिस प्रोग्राम में हमें डिफिकल्टीज आती हैं कि अपने स्टूडेंट को कैसे कम्युनिकेट करें, मैम डेफिनेटली हम वो सारे टॉपिक्स एक बार सर को सजेस्ट करके सेंड करेंगे मैम।
और we will conduct a workshop for a that GPT and artificial intelligence research and guidance. Next time we will conduct, actually last time we have also conducted this. So, or anyone, Amrita Kumari, anyone want to ask
something? To say something? Good evening, all of you.
Yes.
I just want to really thank to you, to the academy, for organizing such wonderful workshop, as all the speakers were so eminent and so resourceful that they have explained the difficult things in the easiest manner. So just would like to thank you, sir, for organizing such good workshop for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And anyone more? Yes. Oh, thank you. So I request our resource person, Professor Gunjan Dubey, ma'am, kindly speak few words regarding this whole session and actually entire training program. I think for especially for this sessions, and this is actually the last day of this training program. So please, ma'am.
Okay, sir, thank you. I found this session very good. The number of participants, their attention was really good, and they are trying to interact also. And I will also appreciate the work of Bharat Digital Academy, because I am attached with Bharat Digital Academy from long time. Sir is very active, and time to time many such programs they keep on doing. And I will request you all to be connected with the Bharat Digital Academy and give your suggestions, so that we may be also able to give lecture over new topics, and we may also be able to improve ourselves and contribute to the field of teaching. Thank you, sir, for giving me this platform. That this also rejuvenates we teacher educator also, that when we interact with such young teachers, new teachers which are just entered in the field of teaching, so we also get rejuvenated by your thoughts. your feelings, your comments and your compliments. So thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And Ruchi ma'am, you give us you send me mail to your topics, and we will discuss our resource person regarding this topic, and we will conduct another workshop. No, Ruchi ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think इजाजत दीजिए, ma'am. Time is
Thank you. Thank you. I'm leaving.
8:40 है.
Thank you,
हम
participant.
अगली
Thank
बार
you, sir.
फिर से एक नए टॉपिक और नए जज्बे और नए एहसास के साथ मुलाकात करेंगे और इस
We'll
तरह
meet
से
again.
ये
Okay, sure.
वर्कशॉप और ट्रेनिंग का सिलसिला जारी रहेगा. Thank you very much everyone for coming this wonderful session. I will send you your certificate in your register email. Register email. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye.